What I would like to title the name of this sermon is The Scientific Theology of Music and Worship. Big name for, aka, music makes you feel a certain way. Right? So the songs, they make you feel different. Some of them make you want to dance, some of them make you want to cry, some of them make you want to go home and think your life is the worst thing ever. We weren't listening to any emo music, but you guys know it's out there. So, the science of music proves that it affects your body in a certain way. What they have actually proven is whenever you're listening to a certain song, whether the bass is pumping or there's a lot of high end, a lot of singing, a lot of soft music, it affects your heart. It affects your body. It has an effect on you that you don't know about. So, what they've proven with that is music affects you in certain ways. And I kind of want to go over that. It affects your body, and God has something to say about this. My first point would be music affects your concentration. They have proven the Mozart effect was first found in 1993. It was a study that showed that listening to 10 minutes of Mozart before kids took a test in school actually improved their test scores and their concentration and focus because it calmed them down. It was something that, when they were listening to it, made them chill out, made them not stress as much. So, a couple things I want to say about that. Romans 12:2, if you have your Bibles out, get them out. We're going to kind of flip through a couple passages, nothing we're going to stay in really, just want to prove a couple points. Romans 12:2. Give me a sec to get there. It says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will." In Colossians 3:2, you don't have to stand, this is very quick. It says, "Set your minds on the things above, not on earthly things." This illustration in the passage says that music affects your mind. So as we, as Christians, as worshipers, whenever we are in that atmosphere of worship, sometimes we feel like we just want to not do anything. Just talk to our friend. You know, I know where this song's going. I know what it's going to sound like. But here's the thing. If you let it listen to it and let it affect you, it will affect your mind. And what God's saying here, we want to be transformed by the renewing of our mind and focus on Him, not on earthly things. So when we're worshiping, we want to be focusing on Him and not anything else. Not whoever's around us, not what I may look like, what I may sound like. We want to focus on Him. So the next time you want to just sit back and think about all your problems in life during a worship service, concentrate on Him. Concentrate on the things that He has done for you. Concentrate on the things that you want Him to do for you, not on the things that are right there in front of you. Because we want to be renewed by our minds and not focus on earthly things. Another thing that music does, it affects your mood and your emotions. I was saying, it is proven that music affects your body according to whatever you're listening to. Listening to some techno music, your heart's definitely going to speed up because you're getting hit by the bass all the time. So that's going to affect you. It's going to actually speed up your heart rate, which is really interesting. So here's a couple things of the examples of how we listen to music and why we listen to music. For entertainment. The most fundamental level of music is supposed to entertain us, right? When you're in the car, you turn on the radio for entertainment. You don't turn it on just because I'm in a car, I have to turn the radio on. This is how it works. Another thing is there's a strong sensation. Music can provide deep, thrilling, emotional experiences, particularly while performing. While either you're doing it, the act of singing or the act of playing an instrument, it really affects you differently because not only are you just there listening, you're actually making and producing music. So when you're sitting in a service, for a worship service or a church service, when you are involved in singing, it affects you in a different way than just sitting there and taking everything all in. So not only do we need to focus on what worship is truly about, we have to get engaged. Or else we're just sitting back and we're just watching everyone else do it. You know? something that you do. It's not just something that you watch other people do when you're involved. Just like PJ used to say, sitting in a garage doesn't make you a car, just as much as sitting in a pew makes you a Christian. Another thing with music is that it's a shared emotion. It's a shared experience. So while you're listening and being involved in the music, it's not just me. It's you and everyone else that you're involved with. So whenever I'm up here or up at church playing with Pastor Jeremiah or playing with my guys down here, it's a shared experience. Like before service tonight, it was Aaron played drums and Carl and Josiah, and we just started jamming out for like 3 minutes just for the heck of it. And that was a fun time. I mean, as soon as we were done, Josiah looks at me and goes, that was pretty awesome. It's something that you share with other people. And you can't share that with somebody else. It's just like being on like a sports team. You share that journey. You share that experience that you have together. And that's what music is too. As a congregation, as a fellowship of worshipers and believers, you can share that experience. And I've been involved with a lot of large events where I've led worship, where I've played guitar, and there's definitely can be a big difference from me and 5 other people than me with 500 other people. That shared experience of everyone diving in and going after God is something that I can't even explain to you how it is. I remember when I was on tour, I used to tour, if you guys didn't know that, with my college, so I played guitar all over the Northeast, done for churches and camps and everything, and it was an awesome time. But when you get into that rut of, just being there, just being involved, like I was saying, when you're just sitting back and letting things happen, you can get into that rut, and I'm sure some of you have felt that before with worship. But what I'm getting at is, I was at the point where I didn't want to worship, I didn't feel like it, I didn't want to do it, I had to do it, because that's how I was getting paid. Plain and simple. But one night, while I'm talking about, everyone has a shared experience, there was about 600 other teenagers and youth pastors in the room. Everyone just entering into worship, and everyone going after one main goal. And I, in front of 600 other people, fell to my knees with my guitar and started bawling my eyes out like a little kid. Because there's something about that shared emotion. There's something about that being together as worship that I feel like if you guys haven't experienced that, the changing of your heart and being with a bunch of other people and doing the same thing and longing after the same thing, it's incredible. What the Bible has to say about this. Psalm 16:9. Therefore my heart is glad and my tongue rejoices. My body also will rest secure. Matthew 5:4. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. 2 Samuel 6:14. David was dancing before the Lord with all his might. When we use our bodies, when we get involved, there's something that truly affects us. So when we feel like not worshiping or getting involved in the music or worship service, let the power of the music and the impact of getting involved, let that be something that you're a part of. Don't let it be something that you just sit back and let it take place, because there is power in getting involved. But the most important part here lies in the last truth. He goes saying it affects your heart. Jesus was most concerned about the heart. Physical music affects our heart rate. It speeds it up and excites us. And it can soothe us and calm us and make us feel relaxed, like I was talking about earlier. He wants us to make music not only with our mouths, but out of our heart. And I'm not talking as in making music out of our heart as in making some kind of beat with your heart, like you're making some kind of like a rap video or something. That's something that I'm not talking about. I'm talking about out of the heart of your spiritual man. Making that music, giving it everything that you have, bringing all the pain that you have throughout the week or all of the good things to him. I know I can attest to some of the pain that you guys might be feeling in high school I absolutely, with a passion, hated every little second of high school. Every second. Now, I know there's some of you out there that absolutely love high school. There's nothing wrong with that. It wasn't for me. I even thought about doing cyber schooling for a while because it just wasn't for me. It was something that I would go in every day knowing, like, hey, I'm going to get picked on and harassed beyond belief. Like, you would have no idea. I'm sure you guys know the kids I'm talking about. Maybe that kid is even you. But I learned at a young age, and I'm very glad that I did. It's probably why I'm going into ministry and lead worship and still try to do my best to get better, is that when you bring everything that you have, everything that's in your heart, and who you are, to the feet of Jesus while you're worshiping, that He will take that. He will accept it. You know, He's there for us. He's not against us. He's not there holding a rule book saying, you need to do this or else. He's there, He's loving, He's forgiving. And during the time of worship is when you can meet Him face to face. I'm sure of myself that I have been in the presence of God numerous times through worship services and preachings and all that. And I'm sure some of you have as well. You can feel that, and it affects your heart. And God is most concerned about the heart. Psalm 9, 1 through 2. I will give thanks to you, Lord, with all my heart. I will tell of all the wonderful deeds. I will be glad and rejoice in you. I will sing the praises of your name, O Most High. Ephesians 5:19. Speaking to one another with psalms, hymns, and songs from the Spirit, sing and make music from your heart to the Lord. See, music and your heart have a lot in common. It affects your body, like I was telling you about. It affects your mind. And most of all, it affects your heart. It affects who you are as a person. That's why music is so popular. That's why Adele won 50 Grammys. Because she can sing. And sing really good. We care about music. We have TV stations dedicated to music. CMT, MTV used to be. Not anymore. But we have music everywhere. We have Pandora. We have iPhones and iPods that like almost everybody has one. Why? Because it started out because you could take your music everywhere. Music is a part of who you are. I'm sure you're defined by that. You know, you may think that you have something completely different from somebody else, but as soon as they're like, oh, you like the same band that I do, we're instantly friends. I love Reliant K as well. Or Hammock, because you guys don't know who that is. So, it defines us as a person. We wear band t-shirts in order to show that I like this band. Just so everyone knows that you like that band. But music affects the heart, and Jesus is most concerned about the heart. So if A plus B and B plus C, A equals C. So God loves your heart, and music is that avenue. There is a way. It's not the only way, but it's a big part of who He is. If the band can come back up for me real quick. What I would really like to do, I know I laid a lot on you, but what I really am concerned about the most is that the fact that you have this chance once a week, and I may not be the best singer by any means, because I know that. But we have that time together to worship and to come into His presence and to be able to sit at His feet and lay everything that we have down to Him to take. I want you guys to be able to take advantage of that time. I don't want you guys to just come and sit back there and talk to one another. I don't want you guys to just listen to what we're doing. I want you guys to be involved. If I could have a worship team of 80 people, I would be stoked. Not all of you would be able to be heard, but it would be a very awesome experience because, like I said, when you worship together and you come into the presence together, there is something so special there. So what I want to do is just give you the opportunity to respond. We're just going to sit back and just play some music.